Hello everyone and welcome back to Zeepkist. In today's video we're going to be making a track based on my Cherry Towers art, which you can see here now. Very nice art. Totally didn't show it last video. So anyways, here's the playtest of the track that I've made before recording, so we don't have to witness that. It does take me a while to make tracks. Definitely need to fix the interior section there so that the lighting isn't weird. This jump is a little rough, but as long as you don't do what I do, it's manageable. And coming in for a finish. There we go. Very nice track. So I'm gonna do something different. Because I normally skip the terraining and stuff, we're just going to get that straight out of the way at the beginning of the episode. So, I'll see you in a second when I get the training done. Alright, and I'm back. So, it took a while. Mainly got the terrain stuff done, a little bit of the roofing, but not really, and I painted the road up. So, we got some very nice mountainous stuff, and stone mountain pillar things. Very scientific terms, I know. So, the first thing that I want to do is determine our color palette, and I think I know what I want. I think, yeah, that is going to be our wall color. That nice, vibrant, orangey, tannish color. Man, I'm being very descriptive with words today. Alright, and then I would like to get this wood and do that for the roofs and floors of things. There we go. Finally, I want to find a good roof color. I think the closest is going to be this dark red metal color. Yeah, I don't like how it's shiny and it doesn't really have the texture I want for like the shingles, but it is the closest in terms of color. So it's going to have to be good enough for our purposes. Man, that already looks way better. So the first thing that I want to do, and the biggest thing with this, is I want to take a section of the wall here and move it over to here. This is going to be our prototyping wall. That way we can, like, test deco things on it. The first of those things is going to be the windows, which I'm thinking should be pretty easy. It should just be this, and then we scale it back to 1. Nope, wrong way. 2. And then we can take a road piece, scale it to 1.25. Alright, and that should be our window done, pretty much. Just have to add like the extra detailing. Then scale that down to around about half, and we can move it into the wall here, so that I can start figuring out the rest of the wall. There we go. And now we can take this and move it on to our buildings. So the first one that I would like to do is adding the door and windows to this roof area here. Oh wow, that was perfect length. And then grab our window again. This window is going to need to be a lot smaller to fit properly, and also thinner because it's the smaller design. Alright, that should be good. There we go. There we go. That immediately looks so much better. And now for the fun part, I have to do the roofing and stuff for this section, which for the most part should be pretty easy, I think. Raise that up a bit, and then we can move over this piece to match. Perfect. And then like 3? No, 2.75. Perfect. And the main thing that I want with these houses is for them to look kind of not poorly built, but I don't want them to look like there was like actual construction knowledge put into them. I want them to look very much like they're just stacked on top of each other. Perfect. And then we can take all this and copy it down. Alright, and that's the second layer of the roof done. And now to get to the third one, which is going to be difficult because this part of the track does some weird stuff. Actually, I think I have an idea for that. So if I take this, and what if I just copy this, move it over to here, about like that. All right, that works. So then just add in the rest of the roofing. All right, so now that the roofing here is done, now we can start adding in the windows and stuff, which is pretty much the same as what we did on this house. So I'll see you in a second when I get that done. Okay, and I'm back. So I got all the windows and doors in place. So now we can start with the next step of the process, which is going to be some lanterns, which I think should be pretty easy. Should be about 1.5. I can put a glass over top of it. And we get some of these. Move it over here. Line it up so that we have the rings on our lantern. Alright, that seems like it's going to be the best that we're going to get. I might come back to that later. I'm not entirely sure. Add a little string rod thing for this to hang off of. There we go. And then we can bring that over to here. Scale it down so it's the right size. Alright, and then time to put these into place. Alright, give me just a second to add all these lanterns in. There we go. That is immediately looking a lot better with the lanterns added. Next thing that I want to do is there's a part that is perfect for the inside of some of these things. Where is that again? This thing is perfect for the windows. And this should be perfect for the, like, I think it's shoji thing that I have for the windows. I think that's what it is. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. So then we can put these in a few of the windows so that they aren't just completely empty. I think a sand color would be best for those. Alright, and I'm back. So, added the window things to these two houses, or buildings rather, because it's multiple houses. And then I have 2 more houses added. This one's supported by sticks. And then the next thing that I would like to do is add in a bridge to go over to the lake. Then we can add a section like this and duplicate all of that. And then for the middle section, there we go. Looks quite bridgy. Is that even a word? Who knows? And I can paint this up, then grab some sausage pieces. Perfect. Alright, and then for the start of the foliage, also I think we can get rid of these now, because I pretty much have the houses I want to have. So for the start of the foliage, I want to start by recreating the planter boxes in the image. Yeah, I think that's about the right size, and I think that's the... wow, that's pretty much perfectly the right color that I wanted. Pretty cool. And we can take rock gun thing, nature gun, and throw in some rocks around about like that, and scale them a little bit weirdly to create a bush inside the little planter box here. Alright, there we go. And I think this will be the right color for the bush. Yep, that seems about right. And these planter boxes have triangles at the bottom. Alright, and then just put that on this side. Perfect. Alright, and then we can start putting these on the houses. So we just line this up. Yeah, pretty much exactly like that. And then I can just go around, add these in front of a few of the windows. Very big emphasis on a few. We don't want a lot of these. Alright, there we go. That is already looking really, really good. Definitely need to be getting to the trees soon, though. But once we add in the trees and stuff, this is going to look amazing. Alright, do I have... yeah, I have a beach chair. I'll have to make that. Perfect. Alright, now the only thing missing from this is it needs the right paint color. It's not really the color that I want to be in with, though. I guess I'll just have to go with this. There we go, good enough. Alright, I think it's time to start putting in some of the box mounts now. So I would like to start by putting a sleepy box mount in the beach chair over here. Imagine how amazing it would be if there was a box mount plush. Maybe someday in the future. And then, where do I want to put this? I'm thinking up here would be good. Alright, we have a painting box mount. Rotate that around a little bit. Then we can change the color of this to that. Perfect. The next box mount that I want to add is fishing box mount, who is going to be fishing from the bridge. they're gonna be a bit precariously placed so you can still see them from the actual like track, because otherwise they would just be blocked by the bridge. And then need to add in some wildlife and stuff in here, which is going to be our cat manta rays, because they're adorable and amazing and I love them. And I have some koi from the Bonsai 03 track that I made last year for ZSL. So we can throw in some koi fish down here. Don't spook them, they're a bit coy. And then I can throw in some corals around the place, just to make the underwater section feel a little bit more lively. I don't want to put a whole bunch of things in here, because it's not really the focus of the track. I feel like green would look good for this. There we go. Then I can take a few lily pads from the same Bonsai 03 track that I did. Just kind of place these around in the water, kind of randomly-ish. Alright, and with that, I want to add a light in here of some kind. Alright, I think that this is pretty good light. What color do I want? I think that's the best color for that. So I can move in a custom light. Turn down the brightness on that by a lot. There we go, that looks much nicer. Alright, I add some extra detail to the checkpoints around the place. And also, same thing for the finish. There's one more box, actually two more box mails that I would like to add. So we have this Ninetales box mail, and the other one I have to make, so I don't have one. Because I need a scarf box mail, which should be super, super easy to make. I can take this cube thing, move it down, scale it up just a bit. There we go. Take this gray color, and then take this thing from a previous track that I don't even fully remember. I think it was the garage map that this comes from. Doesn't really matter. Pretty simple to make anyways. We can add some bits of cloth, flipping about. I know, again, very scientific term. There we go. Pretty much good enough. So now we can take this, scale it down to the correct size, and where do I want to put this on the track? I'm thinking that I want to put it more towards the start of the track. There we go. Perfect. Alright, and then from there, I think the only thing left to do is to add some bonsais around the place. Some giant cherry bonsais. First, I have to convert this into a cherry tree, because I think this is currently a red maple. I'm so glad that I had these things pre-built before I even had the idea for the track series. It saves so much time not having to make a brand new tree every map. I'd like to put this over here on the side of the house to fill in this section with some little bit of visual intrigue. Start putting a bunch of bonsai cherry trees around the place. I don't really think these constitute as bonsais because of, you know, their size. Alright, and then I want to add a few of these smaller cherry trees so that we can have a little bit of variety in the trees and also to save on part count. These trees are a lot simpler. Wow, that looks really, really good with all the trees now. And the final thing that I can think of that I would like to add is some bamboo. So give me just a second to add in all this bamboo, and I'll look over the track one more time to make sure that everything is how I want it to be, and then I think this will be it. Alright, we got the bamboo in. This is looking amazing. There is one last thing that I would like to add though. I was contemplating whether or not I wanted to make it, but I think I do. Being telescope. Wow, that is... why did that place all the way over there? Build that outside. You need that one. Make it long. And make a bigger cone here that is not as long. Final cone on this. Actually, I think I'm going to go with a cylinder. And it should be that. Might actually use like a fake gold. That, yeah, that's a lot better. Then dark brown for the middle. And we need the actual glass at the end. There we go. And then we can give this whole thing some tilt. Too much tilt. There we go. And I need... Alright, that's the first prong foot thing. Second one. And then color up the legs. Alright, then we can take all this, move it over to top of our house up here, shrink it down a lot, and we'll put like right over here. There we go. You know what? It's been a while since we've had the big-tailed box meow on a map. We'll have them up here with our telescope. Alright, and I think this is pretty much done. Oh hey, just barely over 2,000 blocks. That's crazy. Time to give this thing a test run. Hopefully everything is how I want it to be, and then we'll call it an episode, or video. This is an episode series. I'm so happy you can see the box mount and the telescope on the roof up there from the start. I was a little bit worried that it wouldn't be visible. Our ninja scarf box mount. Very nice, you can actually see the track there, it's not just in shadow now. There's our painter box meow. That jump is a little blind, but it's fine. Got our fishes and stuff, and coming in for the finish. Alright, that's going to be the end of today's video. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!